Hello again, thanks for joining me on this video. And what are we up to today? Well, we're still in lockdown, and there's one thing that I've been meaning to do before we come out of lockdown, which is mercifully in a very short time now, hopefully, and that's to test a Basha setup to go with my Dutch Army Hooped Bivi. The idea being to just, you know, if I'm away for a couple of days, have something that's got a bit more flexibility, so you could just use the Hooped Bivi, or if you think it's going to be a bit showery, you can set up a rain shelter, and it also gives the flexibility of having the Dutch Army Hooped Bivi slightly open and not letting the rain in, because one of the things about the Dutch Army Bivvy is, although the material is breathable, it's quite enclosed and stuffy, so I find that it's nice to have the door open slightly. So that's as small as I've managed to get the pack. It's probably a little bit bigger than my Vango Banshee, but it's also pretty heavy without any cordage or the small pole for the Hooped Bivi, and of course the walking poles for the Basha. This comes in at 2.5 kilograms, so it's not lightweight by any means. I'm undecided as to whether I'll actually use this, but it's worth a try out, and you may have different Hooped Bivis and lighter tarps, so you know, it may come in useful for you. But what I'm going to try and set up is a kind of an asymmetrical A-frame for the Basha. I've seen similar sort of patterns done, but usually with a ridge line, and this has got to be freestanding for the type of camping that I want to do. So stick with me and see what we can get set up. Okay, so initially I'm just going to peg out the two back corners. There and that. And I've initially tried the poles both set at 125 centimetres, and I've got a cord on each of the front corners. So I'm going to go just here like that. Peg that one down. Okay, and then I just need another cord on either side, and hopefully that will give it some sort of rigidity across then. Bring you back in a sec. Right, that so far gives a pretty decent sized shelter, more or less what I'm looking for. Just need to fettle the tension on the guy ropes. All my guy ropes are all odd lengths and everything like that, so I'm just tying loops in the end of them to get them roughly to the right length. But I'll just do a little bit of fettling on there, and we'll get the Dutch Army Bivvy set up. So there you have it. Just put a piece of cheap tarp down, put the poles over it on either side to just anchor it in place. Dutch Army Bivvy, pegs at both ends and this end as well, and just one peg on that side just to keep the hoop anchored. And I've got the little midge net down, because I just want to have a play with that. I've not used it as yet. And there you can see, not short of space. I've got the pole set at 125 centimetres, I say, and I'm nowhere near the top. Got plenty of room. If you wanted a slightly lower rise setup, you could just lower the poles and have a sort of a wider, lower shelter. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And now that I've got it set up, it'd be rude not to overnight in it, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to put a few things in there. I'm only testing the Basha setup really. I'm not really testing my kit, so I'm going to put a self-inflating mat in there that I don't use for backpacking. It's a bit on the large side, but it has got a R value of 7.7. Well, that's me more or less set. We've got the Outwell self-inflating mattress, just re-inflating. It'll take a while because it's not been used for a little while. OEX Leviathan sleeping bag, little sleeping bag liner. I've got my Tricology pillow, little dry sack with some extra layers if needed, some food, gadget bag, canteen and stove, gas, and that's me for the evening, apart from my phone for a film. I think it's only going to go down to about 2 degrees Celsius. What's that? 24 Fahrenheit, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, it's not going to be very cold. I've got my little lamp, because you've got tie-outs all along the ridge of the Basha. And yeah, that's me sorted. So with that, I'll probably just bring you back to show you once I'm inside later on. Probably be on the GoPro then, so whether the footage will be very good in the dark, I'm not sure. Alright, catch you later. So there I am in my Dutch Army Bivvy, and I think it's around about 5 degrees C, so not so cold. Just have to do a little bit of filming out here, and then I've got a film to watch on my phone, so no chance of doing any filming in here, I'm afraid. I think it's going to go down to 2 or 3 degrees Celsius overnight, and I got my calculation wrong before. It's double it and add 32 is a rough calculation, so that's about 36 degrees Fahrenheit or so. I had to Google that, I used to know that years ago, but don't think it really operate in Fahrenheit much these days. So
yeah, that's about it really. Unless there's anything else amazing to bring you back for. Either I'll just come back to say goodnight, or I'll catch you in the morning. I've got some porridge as usual for breakfast. Catch you later. Morning. It's about 6 o'clock. And yeah, I've had a great night's sleep. Lovely and warm inside the Dutch Army Bivvy. Not a whisper of condensation in the bivvy. The Basha, as usual, there's a little bit of condensation on that, but there is warm air rising from the bivvy all the time, so it's warm air hitting a single skin against cold air, so it's something that I've kind of come to expect on the Basha. Shelter works really well. A couple of changes I'd make. I'd move the bivvy out more central so it's not against the Basha so much. Not a problem, but just if you want to get in and out, if it's got condensation on it and you're rubbing against it, it's easier to be a bit further away. I was thinking about whether you'd lower it slightly just to have a lower profile and not have the poles extended so much. But yeah, when you're getting in and out, it's nice to have the height to be able to sort of like crouch up and put your shoes on, so yeah, all good. But with that, I'm going to have a lie in for an hour before I make my breakfast, so I'll catch you later. Birds landing on the Basha. Right, had a bit of a lie in. It's about 10 to 7 now. Let's get this show on the road. Make some breakfast in a minute. One of the other things I've sussed out a bit more about the kind of the design of the Dutch Army Bivvy. I only managed to use it once since I got it last year with the lockdown. I managed to get out for a wild camp in it last summer, and once you're more familiar with where the zips are and the mosquito net and all of that sort of stuff, it makes it a lot more easy to use once you understand the design a little bit better. So it's been useful in that way, and I can set it up now so it's got a lot more ventilation. It feels less kind of stuffy and claustrophobic. So yeah, it's been useful for that. Spotted a couple of little areas that might need a dab of seam sealer as well, where you can just see a pinprick of light. Just where these there's like poppers that you can use instead of the zip, just so that you can leave a couple of gaps open for ventilation. So might get some seam sealer and just do a couple of dabs of that across the where the poppers are sewn in. But yeah, the more I familiarise myself with it, the more I'm becoming impressed with it. The material it's made out is fabulous. It appears to be very breathable. So there's no not even a hint of condensation inside it. So yeah, great piece of kit. You are very enclosed, so if you are of a claustrophobic nature, it might not be for you, but yeah, nice piece of gear. Just get my porridge on the go. Best bit about camping: porridge. It's quite a misty morning. A lot more cloud cover than yesterday. Whether it will brighten off and dry off the condensation before I've got to pack up, we'll see. And there we have it. Porridge done. Nice cup of hot chocolate, which is scaldingly hot. And that's about it. So as I say, yeah, good test. Learned a bit more about the Dutch Army Bivvy, and the Basha setup worked well. Obviously I'll have to limit the size of the ground sheet, because the way it's set up, anything raining on it would just drip onto it and pool, so we'd have to kind of either do without it or kind of take it right into maybe a small triangle in the middle or something like that, just folding the corners over. But yeah, other than that, really useful test. So I hope it was interesting for you, and no doubt I will catch you on the next one. Cheers folks, goodbye.